Guys.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the debate night. This is a show that we've been really working hard to bring to you every Thursday, times like this, 8:00 p.m. to 9 p.m. is a debate that takes 1 hour. It's a debate that seeks to involve young intellectuals across the region of East Africa, that is Nairobi, Kenya, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, Kampala, Uganda, and the other regions of the other countries within the East African region. We are opening up these debates to everyone who is interested in these debates. I'm your host, Okoth Opondo, and tonight we have a very interesting topic of discussion, and this is a topic that we literally receive from you people who follow our debates very keenly, that a woman seducing a man should be normal. In a modern Africa, yes, a woman seducing a man should be normal in a modern Africa. The question is it happening or not? If it's not happening, why? If it is happening, why? So today on the panel, we have two teams of amazing debaters. On the proposing side, we have Emmanuel Smile and Adelaide. They'll be proposing this motion tonight. And on the opposing side, we have Joyce Omaida and Lina Goya joining us all the way from Migori County. As I said earlier, remember, we have members of audience in our virtual hall here in Zoom. We'll also be allowed to ask questions when the time comes. But also, if you're following us live from YouTube and Facebook, you have an opportunity to pass your questions or pass your comments to the debaters or to anyone, or just to give your opinion on the topic of the discussion that we're having. So every debater has been briefed thoroughly, that every speaker is aware that the first round, each speaker has 1 minute to do an introduction. Second round, each speaker has 5 minutes to do to present their arguments. Then we go to the question segment, where we'll allow members of audience to post their question. That will take a total of another 5 minutes. In absence of questions from social media and from members of audience, we will allow the speakers, we'll give the speakers that 5 minutes to cross-examine each other. But in case we have the questions, we'll head straight away to the next segment, where each speaker will have 3 minutes to respond to the question, and if possible, so do a cross-examination. Then finally, we come to the last segment, which is each speaker will have a minute each to give their final statements. Welcome to the debate. Keep tweeting, keep sending the messages in, keep commenting and liking our posts on YouTube, and above all, subscribe, because when every time we go live, you'll be able to get notification that we are live. Welcome, debaters. We go straight away to the first debater, the first proposer. I don't know who is the first proposer. That should be Adelaide. Adelaide, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Your 1 minute begins right now. And also just remember to remind all of us that the timekeeper is aware of what's happening. The timekeeper is called Wilda Nyagoha. In this first segment, when you hear the bell, it means that it is the end of your 1 minute. But in the other segments, when you hear the bell, it means that you have 1 minute to go. So Adelaide, your 1 minute begins right now.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Adelaide Wanjiru Jango, and I will be proposing this motion today. In 1477, seduction was defined as a means of persuasion towards a vessel, a servant, or a soldier to desert them from their service. As its usage evolved, seduction was generalized to mean being persuaded to abandon a commitment. Now, according to Robert Greene in his book, The Art of Seduction, seduction was defined as a game of psychology and not beauty. According to him, it was practiced in areas in life such as in the social sector, the political sector, and even sexually. Therefore, the realization that seduction can be a social seduction, political seduction, or even a psychological seduction. Now, psychology is the study of the mind and the behavior. Therefore, we need two aspects in this seduction. We need the first one where the seducer knows themselves, and the second where they know the target. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Adelaide, for taking your 1 minute. We go to the first speaker, the opposing side. Lina Goya or Joyce Omaida? One of you. Lynn, take it. Your 1 minute begins right now. Lynn, unfortunately, we can't hear you. Lynn, unfortunately, we can't hear you. Let's go to Joyce Wamaida first, then we come back to Lynn. Let's go to Joyce Wamaida, then come back to Lynn. Joyce, 1 minute begins right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joyce Wamaida, and I'll be opposing the motion. A woman seducing a man should be normal in the modern world. As I've been told, okay, seduction is seen as an act. It is seen as an act of using charm or promises of flattery to induce another person in order to have a relationship. This is done in various ways, and today, in today's world, we are seeing people modernizing this, while there are those old ways that we still hold on to. So, yes.
Thank you. That is Joyce Wamaida. We head to the second speaker, the proposing side, Emmanuel Smile.
My name is Emmanuel. I'll be second proposal of the motion. A woman seducing a man should be made normal. We talk about 15 ways of how to attract a man. We talk about 10 ways of how to be a good lady when our man approaches. We talk about 10 ways of how to seduce, how to make a man fall for you. We talk about 1,000 ways to make a man weak at your knees. The question is, do you understand what seduction is? If not those ways. The motion has just been proposed. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Emmanuel Smile, the second speaker from the proposing side. We head to the second speaker, the opposing side. Lynn, let's give it a try. I hope now it is okay.
Can you get me now?
Lynn, we are still struggling to hear you. I would advise maybe you change where you are. Maybe try get a different place, then I will come back to you. You'll have your 1 minute and the other minute by the time you'll be coming back. Please just try checking. If possible, someone is suggesting that maybe you can turn off your video so that then you just do audio only, Lynn. Okay. Great. Is Lynn here? Lynn?
Yes, I'm here. Are you getting right now?
Okay.
Hello, are you getting me right now?
Give it a try. Let me see. Go on.
You're getting me.
Okay, keep talking.
Okay. I'm Lina Goya and you're getting me.
Go on, go on.
I am Lina Goya and I'm going to oppose the motion that said a woman seducing a man should be normal. You know, the woman I was yesterday introduced me into the
Lynn,
woman
allow me
that
to
I am
intervene.
today, which makes me very excited.
Lynn, kindly, maybe
Yes,
just kindly try check your network and come back kindly. I know it's a struggle, but it's fine. By the time it will stabilize. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with the 1 minute or the segment of the 1 minute introduction. Now we want to allow the speakers, each speaker, 5 minutes to give their presentation, why they believe a woman seducing a man is normal, or why they believe that a woman seducing a man is abnormal in this modern world. Now we go to the first speaker, proposing side, Adelaide. Your 5 minutes begin right now.
Thank you. Now, as I said, we have social seduction, political, and even sexual seduction. In my first point, I will focus on social seduction, which has two forms. The second form I will discuss later on. The first form is where you portray a character to the public or to the target that shows that one is weaker or stronger than they actually are. In the historical times, Mary Jane Richards posed as a slave in Jefferson Davis's home, which is the Confederates' White House, to spy on the Confederates during the Civil War. She did this in order to get their plans so that she could help the Union's party succeed in this war. Now, in this case, I explained clearly that seduction entails making one weaker and making them appear or think that you are weaker than you think you are, than you actually are. Now, in her case, this home was guarded by lawyers. Some lawyers came in and gave some advice. It was also guarded by soldiers, and these soldiers were men. Now, look at it this way. This is a woman who is portraying herself to be a slave who has had every conversation that men have had in that home, and she has made them believe that she is nothing more than a slave, and she has actually given this information to the Union's party. Due to her efforts, the Union Party won this war, and later on, we hear of the victory of the Union's Party. And it became so great because it united the United States of America, and it became as great as it is right now. Similarly, during the Mau Mau War, we had the women hiding men in their homes so that the European soldiers could not get them. They also carried food to the forests so that they could give the food to the men and pose as people who are going to get firewood for their homes. Now, as I said, seduction can be social. And in this case, the women took advantage of how men perceived them to be weak people and helped. And now we have an independent Kenya courtesy of these women. To my second point, according to the hierarchy of men, of the species, the human species, the male species is considered superior, especially in leadership, historically even. Leadership roles were left out for men because they believed these roles were meant for men. Now, when we look at Eleanor Roosevelt, she fearlessly exerted leadership inside and outside the White House in ways that paved ways for women to come in and take up leadership roles. And 80 years later, we see Hillary Clinton, who followed in her path. She blazed and won the nominations of the Democratic Party for president of the United States. And she also won the popular vote by 2.5 million. She was only defeated in the Electoral College. Now, going back to Eleanor Roosevelt, we see that she used the political seduction because in the political sector, as I mentioned, it was actually based off of men. And through her campaigning for human rights and going ahead and showing that the First Lady can do more than what they thought she could do, she manipulated the psychology through seduction. And this resulted in her changing the perspective of very many people historically, as I said, 80 years later. Now, to my third point, as I had mentioned, there are two forms of social seduction. So the second one falls under the general definition of, definition of seduction. But now here we focus on Robert Greene's seduction definition. So he defined it as social seduction as business persuasion. So research shows that women are better salespeople than men. In a 2019 study, it showed that 86% of women were better at achieving the quota than 78% of men. In this case study, we see that the women were specifically told to target men in other companies that they wished to do business-to-business sales, and the sales skyrocketed. Profit margins improved. Sales were impressive. Until now, it is shown that this is still going on. As we can see here, women seducing men is not wrong. It's actually quite normal, and it has helped even the economy of our country and many other countries. Thank you.
I like there's a very interesting twist to this whole thing of women seducing men. Remember that we are also live on our YouTube channel, Camp D Voices. Please go on there if you feel like you want to comment about something, you have a question. It will be very difficult sometimes also to pull the question from the chat box here, but it's so easy because I'm following the live session myself. So keep on sending the questions or comments from the YouTube channel or from Facebook, from our Facebook page, still the same name, Camp D Voices. First speaker, the opposing side, sorry. I don't know if Lynn Agoya is back. Lynn Agoya is back. In absence of that, Joyce Wamaida, the stage is yours. And also just remind you that if Lynn doesn't come back, it will be Joyce versus Emmanuel and Adelaide. Go on, Joyce.
So, opposing the motion, a woman seducing a man should be normal in the modern world. So if we go back to the creation story, when God created man and woman, he intended it for the man to be the head of the family and therefore making the woman to be submissive. So what picture does this paint when we start seeing women seducing men? So onto my first point, we have can go with the nature of men. Men are created to chase, and that's why most of them we see various men chasing ladies in order to pursue a relationship. There is that thrill that comes with seducing and being able to get whatever it is that you wanted. In the contrary, if a woman seduces a guy, that ends up in creating a lackluster relationship in this context of a romantic relationship. If you see a woman pursuing a guy and shooting their shot, most of the time the relationship will end up in tears. Why is this? Psychologists have proven that most women, they have feelings involved, and these feelings can be of either physical nature or emotional nature. Whatever the case, every time when the matter of love comes up, women tend to follow their feelings much faster compared to logic. So logic comes way later in order to justify their actions, maybe in order to make them feel better for the choices that they made and all that. So in our modern society today, as much as everything is being modernized, I will go with what our great grandparents have always taught us, that men should men should men should chase women, and that's why we had, even in the olden days, men women men being sought for wives. I'm sorry. On to my second point, chivalry is important in the society. As much as we have women coming up and taking up the leadership position, chivalry is still important. In this case, chivalry is supposed to mean a man that is courageous, courteous, loyal, and considerate to women. So when you see that, when we go beyond, when we break this chivalry cycle that has already been put in place in our society, we are able to see something that is amiss, because a process has been cut off, and therefore going superheading or spearheading something else that has not been there before. We need men to run these families. We need men in this society who pursue women rather than the other way around, in order to have families that are stable and all that. On to my third point, we have women, unlike men, as I said earlier, they don't find negative cues such as intoxication, immaturity, and let's say physical recklessness attractive while they are pursuing men. So this means they'll have to settle for less when they are pursuing someone. Um, for women, most of us know it's emotional. So if a woman is pursuing a man, all these things, they give a blind eye to all the negative things, and want whatever they are after, because of the feelings that are involved there. And so that's why we see, after some time, the relationship can just start wobbling, and after that, it's no longer there, because the man was not even involved there. He was just found doing his going about his normal day-to-day businesses, and then someone just seduces him, and that's it. And yes, so on to my last point. We have, yes, opposing this motion today, that men should not accept women to seduce them. Men should allow nature to take place as they look for their potential partners, rather than the opposite, women seducing men. Because you see now, women will have to run this relationship, and to ensure that it keeps running, you have to dominate, and it is just a lot of energy to go on on the opposite side of nature. You will have a lot is involved to it is draining and all that. Yes, so I oppose the motion today that a woman seducing a man should be normal in the modern world. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly, Joyce. You've mentioned a very important point, that you do not want to miss the thrill of being seduced. And also, one should not miss the thrill of seducing. I never knew that that happens. I wish just one of you in the panel can just take this on and make us also feel thrilled. But anyway, let's go to the second speaker from the proposing side, Emmanuel Smile. Your 5 minutes begin right now, sir.
Thank you. First to state, relationships have always wumbled even if the man was the first to say hi. And forever they will if it wasn't meant to be. But if they're meant to be, even in the wobble, in the tears, they're still all together. Let me get straight first of all to the point and say women seducing men should be made more even better. It should be allowed, it should be a common thing because it is. And it has always been. I'll take Joyce Omaita, a very worthy opponent, who says, in the Garden of Eden, she started saying, and I'll go back to the Garden of Eden and say, if not for Eve seduced Adam to eating the fruit, sorry to say, Joyce Omaita, today you will not have been spoken to us. But thank you because she did a good job by seducing Adam to eat the fruit after she was seduced. Wow, seduction is powerful. That's the very first point I'll say. Seduction is a powerful tool, and has always been used by different to do different things. Because seduction, as my first proposer said, my very happy partner said, seduction is more than the words. It's more much paralingual features women use behind our sins, thinking we do not see. We see. I only said hi, I did not seduce you. What you say or what you do after that hi is the seduction. So let us not refuse that. Let us allow to call what seduction is seduction. My very father say, we are living in a society where ladies are seeing every day what a man can do, a woman can do better. Why not seduction? One, at the 21st century, woman stand up to every will to say, my choice, my rights, my rights, my choice. Then okay, seduction does not mean that when you seduce a man, you become the leader. No. If I come in for a partnership with you, it does not mean you will always be the largest capital holder or shareholder. The shareholder is the shareholder, no matter who comes in with the deal. Understand? Women have always created attraction to men. Our worthy opponent created a very good portfolio for me to dig in deep because she started the word Bible and that is where she fell. Samson was seduced to failure. Women have always been seducing men. The only problem is that when women seduce men, many other times they call it a trap, they don't call it seduction. So change the mentality of calling it a trap and call it seduction. You will be in the right side of understanding that seduction has always been there, will always be there, and has been there. Today, we speak about, as I stated in the 1 minute I was given earlier, that writers, bloggers, all kinds of sort of things we read on the internet today states 15 reasons of how to make a man cling to you. 10 reasons of what to make a man fall for you. 15 reasons to make a man follow you. 10 reasons to make a man do this and do that, to fall on the knees of the lady. Why are you making this hard for yourself? Or rather, make it a usual thing. I'll say seduction to a very larger view. My partners talked about politically, talked about in so many ways, but I want to bring you down to the paralingual features of seduction as a temporary temptation for one to do something. Yesterday, as I was talking to one of my friends who is a lady, just a friend, say, and I said, do you think okay? I decided to play foreplay, and I asked, do you think it's okay for you to seduce a man? And the answer was very, very open. He said, we do. Even if people say it's not okay, we do. The only problem is that we do it in ways men are blinded to see, but we do. Wow. I just say, thank you for helping me out because today I was to use it somewhere. Every other day in the community we are living in today, let us not lie to ourselves. It's not about leadership. It's not about the art you're missing. It's not about the game you're missing. Men were born servants, born to serve. They are not born to chase. So when you say men are chasers, you lie. Let us make that action a normal thing, as it has always been from the start.
Okay, Emmanuel, you're done? Because you're muted. Your mic is mute. Okay. Are you finished? Emmanuel?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. When talking and you're mentioning about the 10 reasons, and you know, the moment you mentioned the word blogger, in Kenya, bloggers have a way of getting us read the document that 10 reasons, 10 ways of getting a man. The 10th one will shock you. So you keep on reading reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, then realize there's no reason 10 at all. Second speaker from the opposing side, Lynn Agoya, are you there? Lynn Agoya, is it better now?
Yes, I'm there. Are you getting it now?
Okay, go on. Let's see if it is better.
Yeah. You can get me here.
Okay, and the
Okay. My name is Lina Goya, and I'm opposing the motion that says a woman seducing a man should be normal. You know, the woman that I was yesterday introduced me into the woman that I am today, and that makes me very excited about the woman.
Go on.
That I will become tomorrow, and that is why I'm confident and proud enough. But I'll really, my first point why I really suggest that women.
Oh no. Who is this man?
Should not be seducing men at all. It should not be normal of the situation. Okay. They will assume that we women. Are you getting me?
Yes, Lynn, go on.
They will assume that we women, we are so desperate. And that is why we approach them. Their ego will be so high. They will end up saying yes. Even if that man wasn't interested in you, he will just say yes because the opportunity is in front of him. And also, you know, unlike when men approach ladies, we cannot say yes if we are not ready. It takes us time to think. We need to see if this man is really good enough for us. So for a
Lynn, we lost you.
It's not really that easy for a lady to say yes. And
okay.
Switch on and then
Lynn, we are struggling to get you.
Like incrementally, bit
Lynn, we are struggling to get you. Okay, let's go to this question segment. Lynn, maybe you can also just try composing and see even if you can send it in as a message. You can send it to me direct, then I'll be able to read it instead of all this struggle because you're really struggling. You're giving a very good point. I've heard you talk about ego. I've heard you talk about people judging each other, but it's not really clear some of the things that you were saying because of the internet issue. Sorry for that. Let's now allow members of the virtual audience here to ask their questions. A very controversial statement here has been made that what a man can do, a woman can do better. But I've also heard other people say that what a man can do, what a woman can do, a man has already done, or a man did it yesterday. So when it comes to this whole issue of seduction, who did it yesterday or who can do it better? Let me go to the question session. Let's pick any question from the members of the audience. If you have any question, kindly just raise your hand. Omukoko, Stephen, Okoth, you're on the call, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. I think there's something very important that Emmanuel mentioned.
You can
actually seduction between men and women.
On your video.
Okay. Oh, great. So there's something important that Emmanuel mentioned, that seduction between men and women has always been happening, except that it has been taking different shapes and forms. And so men tend to be more active, while women tend to be passive. But the reality is that all of them have their own techniques of seducing the other. And so what does the opposition think of that?
Okay, thank you. I hope they got it right. Manoti. And I hope and pray you don't call yourself Manoti and you don't have shillings. Manoti, go on. Manoti, unmute.
Yeah, thank you. I want to challenge Joyce Wamaida to ask her a question. How comes you are saying that women cannot be able to seduce men? Do you want to tell me that you will settle for less when you choose a man, and later then the relationship cannot be able to work? Because at the end of the day, nobody will be able to choose a man who is not able to provide for her, who is not able to take care of her needs and everything. So, Wamaida, are you telling us that you will settle for less? Yeah, thank you.
Okay. When you come on, umekasirishwa sana, but anyway, it's fine. Next question, please. Another question from the members of the audience. In absence of that, I'll go to the panelists, to the debaters. Boaz Ogala, from reading his comment from YouTube, says, being head of the family doesn't hinder a girl from shooting her shot. Even if you want to be the head of the family, don't worry, you can shoot your shot, but that should not even affect you. So that is just Boaz's comment. Let me come back to the debaters, unless there's any question from members of the audience. Any questions? I don't see any hand raised up. So I'll go back to the debaters. First speaker, the proposing side. Your 3 minutes begin right now. Take the 3 minutes to respond to any question that has been raised, and also to cross-examine or to clarify something that you said earlier.
Okay. Due to no questions, I'll just go ahead and cross-examine the opposers. So from what I've heard, men were created to chase. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very interesting conversation because I believe physically when you run, at some point you'll just become tired, right? Now, if we say that men are the ones who are supposed to chase and women are supposed to run, won't we both become tired? Why don't we just let the men run and then chase? We exchange roles till one of us becomes very tired and whoever catches the other gets them. It saves on time, saves on resources, and you save a lot of energy, which is good because we need energy when we finally become one and we're building a home. Then we were told, and then the opposers clearly stated that chivalry is very important and it requires consideration, loyalty, and being courteous. All this can happen while still women are going ahead and shooting their shot, as we've called it. And because of this, women find pleasure in being chased. That's not a lie. As a woman, I agree. But also, I believe men can find pleasure in it. Why don't we give them the chance to actually feel this pleasure we are talking about? We can't have one side benefiting and the other just becoming tired. And finally, men will always say yes, as I've heard, and women will think about it. I believe right now we should accept that women can seduce men so that we can give the men a chance and a good opportunity, a clean playing field, to go ahead and learn how to think before they act after being seduced. Thank you.
Thank you. Comment also coming from Gideon Felix says, instead of sitting down there waiting for God to send you a perfect man, go out and find that Mr. Right that you're looking for. So then Boaz says, okay, I'll read Boaz's comment later because this guy now seems to be a bit controversial, but he's saying, if you love someone with your gope, just shoot your shot. Women fear being rejected. Okay, let's go to the first speaker. Probably not even the first, the only speaker on the opposing side. Joyce Wamaida, your 3 minutes. Unmute.
Sorry about that. On to what Smile said about having articles that tell us about men, many reasons for what you should do in order for a man to fall in love with you. I support what you said, Opondo, that most of them, they're just there to make money. That's business. Just click, you get adverts, and that is why those links are there, because they use it for captivation. You're captivated you want to read more and know what does this say. On to my next point, Adelaide mentioned that men become tired. That is based on the woman. You see, most of the ladies, they'll play hard to get, while in the real sense, they know what they want. Don't you think that you're the one who will make the man get tired of chasing after you, yet you know what you want? Either you want to be in that relationship, or from the word go, you knew that you wouldn't want such a man to be your partner in life. So why waste his time? Just tell him point blank, after whatever time you have had to hang out with the guy, know him better, just straight to the point. No, I don't want you, or yes, I want you, and let's start this. We ladies are the ones who make men get tired, because why will you let him chase you forever? No, just be open and be blunt with what you want. And then about Ogala, women are afraid of being rejected. Isn't it the same case with men? You see a lady who you're interested in, you want to pursue, and then you start second guessing yourself. Imposter syndrome kicks in, and you're like, no, I can't. Because at the end of the day, you still want to maintain your ego or something like that. Still, yeah, men, okay, as much as women, as much as women seduce. Oh, okay, sorry. So yes, and on to Matnochi's question, I didn't really get his question because I think of some technical issues. Thank you.
Okay, very well. You are saying that it is women who make men tired. I think you are speaking a very good language. Yeah. So Joyce, maybe I just pass this question to you because we are saving some minutes because your debating partner is not here with us. Imagine if a man meets you today and straight to the point. Hi Joyce, I think I love you. Is it, do you still have time? Would you still say that, let me go and think about it, or is it just, okay, and we also feel like you like this guy? What will happen? Joyce? Okay, Joyce. Joyce, you can unmute if you got my question. Okay, so.
Come again, you're breaking, I can't quite.
Okay, fine. Let me go to the first speaker, the proposing side.
Please come again, I can't get you clearly.
I'll get back to you, don't worry. Let me head to the first speaker, the proposing side. You've had your 3 minutes, Adelaide. You've had your 3 minutes, Emmanuel. Juice, you've had your 3 minutes. We are sorry for Lynn. She's really struggling wherever she is. Lynn, we are very sorry. This was unforeseen because we even spent about 30 minutes with you earlier on in the day trying, and everything seemed to be okay. So as I let you just think of your last 1 minute on how to convince us why a woman seducing a man is normal or is abnormal, let me open it up to the members of the audience who know it all. These people know almost everything. I want to open it up to members of the audience. Just to tell me what you think about this whole motion, and not only about the motion, but about a woman reaching out to a man, what we're talking about here. Kindly feel free. Let me just see, open your mic. Just raise your hand and open your mic. What do you think? Is it a matter of how we were created and that the Holy Scripture says that a man should chase and nature declares that a man should chase, or has nature changed? Have things changed? Is it time to say, no, guys? Let's be honest. Women can do it. If a man can do it, a woman can do it. Wilder Nyagoha go on. Kindly less than to the point. Wilder? Yes.
Go Wilder gets to take the opportunity. You have not had my 3 minutes.
Oh, sorry. Because I've already introduced Wilder, let me just finish with Wilder, then come back to you. Wilder, go on. Then we just combine your 4 minutes. I'll give you the 4 minutes together.
Okay, at first, Maida was saying about let nature take its course. There is nothing about nature. There is nothing. Nature states nothing. It's all of us who create nature, and we depict on what we want. And things are changing. The generation that was there in the 1970s is not the one we are having right now. We are living in a world where technology dictates everything. People's behavior have changed. Where people's principles have changed, our culture has changed. So I don't see any wrong where a woman approaches a man and speaks out his heart, because let me tell you, the reason why we are having a very toxic relationship and marriages is because we have allowed men to take charge of everything. Just because a man approaches me and I accept, I become liable, or I become accountable to the man, and I have no say, because after all, it is he is the one who noticed me. I would love it that let me notice the guy. If I love a guy, let me make my first shot, and we see if we will get somewhere. Because at the end of it all, whether the relationship will be toxic or happy, it will be my fault, because I'm the one who got myself into it, rather than living in regrets, because why did this man come in my life? If this man never came in my life, I wouldn't be here. So I prefer that let me take my shot. It should be equal. If Ogala notices me and loves me, Ogala, come and take your shot. If it is me, I will boldly come and take my shot. That is it.
Thank you. And I wonder the choice. Why Ogal and why not Were or Emmanuel Smile? But anyway, it is what it is. Someone else? Okay, Manoti, go on.
Thank you. This issue.
And straight to the point in less than a minute, kindly.
Yeah, thanks. So I think the seduction between a man and a woman should not be a matter of life and death, because you know, if I've developed interest, I will go for it. If she has developed interest, she'll just look for me. I mean, it should not be that a big deal to an extent that you are at a corner that you want her to blink fast, or you are the one who wants her to blink fast. You know, at the end of the day, what your parents will want to see is you have children, you have created wealth. The other day we were talking about dowry. Yeah, that's the most important thing anyway. Are we reading from the same script?
With the theory away. Manoti ushaikatiwa na msichana?
Absolutely, several.
How's the feeling, sir?
I was feeling so special, bro. I was I was so expensive, so that I can also show my
Okay. Let's allow others also to give their comments kindly. Someone else, just open, show your hand or just unmute, then I'll see. Okay. Manute alikuwa anajiona. Okay, fine. That's what Ogala says. Who is here? Boaz, go on.
Yeah, so for me, I have no problem when a girl approaches me, because maybe we have a vibe together. So maybe when she's working on herself, it's also me on my end, I'm working on myself. We can just come together and vibe, and that's something to have a family together. And if you want to make money, we can just make money together. Mbona sasa ukae tu hapo umie bure yetu? I'm just here.
Has it ever happened to you, sir, or you want it to happen to you?
Yeah, it has happened when I was young, but also for me, that time I was too young. It was not that important. I was still playing, so yeah.
Okay, thank you. Alan Wasonga, I'll be coming back with the debaters shortly. Alan Wasonga. Alan Wasonga, go on. Unmute, turn on your video.
Okay, so as for me, okay, like Manotia said, it should not be a matter of life and death. See, so if I like you, I'll shoot my shot. Then if it's you, then you can shoot your shot. So then we'll see our progress in the relationship, but it will not be a matter of life and death, because where I come from, in these streets, women are seducing men every day. So it shouldn't be a matter of life and death. And it does not mean if I seduce you, some people just do it for fun. Yeah. Not seriously for a relationship. Yeah.
Thank you. Alan, before you go, just before you go, I promised people and I promised you, you being among some of our very, very good friends here. Let me now today take this opportunity just to congratulate you openly in public. Congratulations for good performance in KCC. For those who don't know, you don't know who you are
Huyu ndo alikuwa wa pili.
Yes, he was number 2 national in KCC. Alan, congratulations and all the best in university, brother. You're talking
Oh
about
my
this.
God.
Okay, let's go to Gideon. Gideon Felix, your hand was up. Gideon Felix, your hand was up. Okay, very well. So let me come back to the debaters. Emmanuel Smile, you have, will they help me time Emmanuel Smile 4 minutes because I didn't give him the 3 minutes. I got confused because you don't have the other speakers. So that flow is a bit tampered with. Emmanuel, go on. Emmanuel, unmute.
Yeah, thank you. So let me just to make some facts, a little bit of some facts straight. One was mentioned by Lynn before we could miss her. She said something, just say yes. Yeah, that's what I captured. Just say yes. A man will always just say yes, mentioned. But that will mean one thing to the male society, that men do not have many choices. And I will say, you're her father, her brother, they've always made choices and they make good choices to who she has been today. So the fact of her, Lynn saying that men just say yes is a wrong thing, and there is a wrong perception. Maybe change from that and you will love how the game is turned and how the game is sweet when it's changed from who the owner of the game is from normal stuff. Just love that. And one thing that is it Wamaita? Yeah, she said that women, when women are in love, they tend to make, they tend not to think logically. That will demean the men we've always trusted as, mother natures, as people who will make good choices for their kids. So kindly let us not make this thing, as Manotia said, fact of or a point of die and die or lose. No, it's an opportunity for us to enjoy. She said, let and allow nature to flow. As I finish, one lady once said in a therapy session, I will share but not disclose who, and she said, the man I have today, I went to him personally because the man was afraid to come to him. But at least the man gave some signs, gave some lingo as usual, and the man would always be there to support her. The man would always be there to help. Although the man could not say, "I love you and I want us to have a family," the man said those things in action. The same way women do. They love you. They will create time for you. They'll be there for you. They'll support you. They'll want to know how you're doing every other day. If that is not seduction, then allow me to call it care and careful seduction. Makes seduction a normal thing. Thank you.
Thank you. We head to Joyce Wamaida. Now, Joyce, Joyce, I'll give you 1 minute, then I'll come back to finish the Adelaide. I'm just now going against the format because we are lacking one speaker. Let me go to Joyce, your 1 minute closing remarks, then Adelaide, 1 minute closing remarks.
Just as we have heard the line, it's not a matter of life and death. It's not a matter of life and death. Men continue to seduce women and just go by everybody to enjoy. It's also not a matter of life and death if the woman decides just to give their answer right away instead of taking long and ending up having two tireless people who don't even end up in a relationship or end up in a relationship. So I will urge our proposers of today to join me in opposing the motion that our woman seducing a man should be normal in the modern world. We should just oppose and continue with what we know and what we have always had. Thank you.
Thank you. We head to the last speaker of this debate, and that is Adelaide.
Dear
Your 1
audience.
minute.
Okay. Dear audience, In seduction, what matters is the form, not the content. And what this means is, if your target focuses less on what you say, but puts more emphasis on how you make them feel, then your seductive nature can have a greater effect. Therefore, if you look at it this way, it shows clearly that if a man decides to focus on his emotions when a woman seduces him, it's by choice and pure interest. It's not by force. You're not limiting him to say yes to you. And everyone has the right to a choice. Therefore, women should seduce men, and it should continue being a normal action because everyone has a choice and is not limited on what to do. Thank you.
Very well. Very well. That is Adelaide finishing this debate for us. So once more, I'll give any one or two members of the audience, any two members of the audience who believe that, maybe two members of, let me get one person proposing and one person opposing. Let me see if we have any in our midst. Just raise your hand. I see Lynn Agoya, you are back when we are done. Lynn, Karibu, go on, Lynn. Unmute and talk. Lynn, you can unmute. Okay. Okay, let's go on. Do you have any member in the audience who would like to say a word? Would like to say something, maybe to agree with the proposal or to agree with the opposers? Yes, Lynn? Lynn, go on. Okay, Lynn seems to be struggling still. So let me take this opportunity once more to thank all of you, Emmanuel and Adelaide. I don't know whether you can tell us confidently that you believe you've swayed people to your side. Adelaide, do you believe so?
I believe we have, because as I'm looking at the charts,
yeah,
I can see that we have pulled more people.
Everyone is on your side. Joyce, do you think it's just a no, or ground victory different? You are muted. Joyce, unmute.
Yeah, it's a no. It's a no still.
It's a no still. And you like these people to come to your side. Okay, very well. Thank you everyone for joining the debate. And these are some very interesting topics. I know sometimes you find a lot of challenges debating this topic, but remember, what we promised people is that everything can be debated. We are going to create a platform, as I said earlier, that everyone would like to be part of. We must start encouraging the culture of agreeing to disagree, that we can present topics and we can disagree based on what you believe, based on what I believe, but that doesn't stop, doesn't kill the friendship that we have. Adelaide and Emmanuel Smile, thank you for doing a great job as the proposing team. Joyce and Lynn, though Lynn really struggled. Lynn, we are very sorry for you. Hope next time. Actually, you should jump to the next motion because the next one is very interesting. Thank you very much. With the opposing team, the members of the audience, Asanteni Sana to Wilda. Always my timekeeper, whatever you knock or whatever you ring is happy to do, but it sounds like a very big metallic bell, a Catholic church. But we are always proud because anyway, it notifies us. To Derek and Alex, those are always working hard to ensure that these motions and these debates are happening at Santeni Sana, and to everyone who joined, both on the live channels, YouTube, and even in the virtual audience here at Santeni Sana. We're meeting again next week on Monday, but before we go, next week on Thursday, next week on Thursday, we are coming back, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. The topic of discussion. Today, somebody provoked an interesting discussion in the morning, and the talk was, could it be that men are now feeling threatened by the over-empowerment of women? Are men feeling threatened? We want to craft that motion, but our motion will be around that. The issue of women empowerment, the girl child empowerment, and the boy feeling left out, the men feeling left out, the men and the boys feeling forgotten. What do you think about that? We're meeting next week on Thursday for another great debate. I've been your host, from Camp D Voices. nice time, everyone.